Hello and welcome to the 1 year anniversary of Language, Culture, and Dr. Lou, the YouTube channel where I talk about all my thoughts on language and culture. And so I'm making this little video because 1 year ago today, March 7th, 2024, was the day I uploaded my first video to get this channel rolling, to get this channel started. And I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has watched my videos this year, and especially to those who have subscribed to the channel. And I want to give a little report on how the first year for this channel has gone. And after doing that, after going through what this channel covers and uh, all that, I'd also like to do a little thing that I've been meaning to do for a couple months. A little book review and reading from this Hakeem Jeffries book, The ABCs of Democracy, which although I don't love talking politics on my channel, that's not really a thing here. But since it's formatted as an ABC book, it's language related, and thought it would be pretty interesting to do a little reading. I can read through almost the whole entire book in like 2 or 3 minutes and give you a little review of how do I think it is. And so before that, let's talk a little bit about the channel. And I had set out as a goal when I was starting this YouTube channel that I said, well, I will only really keep it going if I have at least 100 subscribers after a year. And the fact is, I'm not quite to 100 subscribers, actually only 98. And the 98th one of those just subscribed yesterday. So thank you for that. And but even though I haven't made my goal of 100 subscribers, I'm thinking it's close enough to where I am indeed going to keep on doing this channel on YouTube because some people like it anyway. And so as you can see here, this is the video viewing from the whole last year, ever since May 7th, 2024. And all the way through yesterday. I mean, sorry, I meant March 7th, 2024, and all the way through yesterday, which was March 6th, 2025. And as you can see, I've gotten just over 5,600 views so far. And that amounts to, because I have made 79 videos altogether. Well, this one here will be number 80, but 79 before this, and just over 5,600 views. That means the average number of time each video gets viewed is about 70 or so, 70 views or so, which is very, very small. As you can see from this number, from these numbers here, it's pretty much the smallest YouTube channel ever. And that's why, well, that's part of why I'm not monetized. And I didn't start this channel with any hopes for making a bunch of money off it, because honestly, YouTubers don't make as much money as people think they do. And because I do still have a job in real life, so that takes my priority, keeping me employed and keeping a roof over my head and all that. That's important. And yeah, so I also, and speaking of getting a channel monetized, the minimum number of subscribers one needs to monetize your channel is 1,000. So I'm not even 10% of the way there. And then there is also the amount of watch time, like the number of watch hours that people have done, how long people have spent altogether watching your videos, that needs to reach at least 4,000. So I'm about 15% of the way there. So I don't expect this channel to be monetized anytime soon, which I suppose is good because the fact that the channel is not monetized means less commercials and no sponsors and all of that. So I think it's a better viewing experience for people who want to view it. And also, as you can see down here, are the number of views per day throughout the year. And the highest number of views I ever reached in one day was the tallest spike that you can see up there um, near the end of January. So about 5 to 6 weeks ago, it was 185 views in one day. That's the highest number of views my channel has ever gotten. And after that is the next highest is 136. And the next one after that is only 85. So these are not big numbers. And I think, well, looking back at some of my videos, I think people are finding some of them boring. Occasionally, my delivery of the content is a little, yeah, dry, a little boring, people say. And so I'm trying to work on that. And I'm always trying to improve the content and get new stuff out to you. And so, speaking of the content, I wanted to call your trends to something that I made sure to do to streamline the viewing experience for everybody is I have been organizing all my videos into playlists. And right on the home tab on YouTube, on my page's home tab, I have most of these playlisted lists listed right there on the front page, so you don't have to dig around too hard to find them. There's one that's not listed there because, well, like I said, I don't like talking politics that much on this channel, so no playlist related to politics, at least not so far. At least hasn't made the home page. And so, as you can see here, I have several playlists going on. The newest one that I'm still building, my fun words du jour. This playlist is all about words that I have fun saying, that I find sound funny, and they're funny to articulate. And I like bringing you little of the etymology of them, as well as what they mean, and yeah, just enjoying saying them. And so these are some of my shortest videos on YouTube. They're only like 5 minutes long a piece, something like that. And the other playlist with my shortest videos that I put on YouTube is the one two below that, the weird words of the day, which is a very similar playlist. And these are words that are, yeah, very fun too. They just sound weird and they're interesting to say. And so that was my first version of Word of the Day series. And I have left 22 videos in there for everybody to enjoy if they choose. But I'm not doing that series anymore because I replaced it with the fun words du jour, which is along a very similar line. And so I do hope you will take advantage of the fun words du jour. Now, another thing I have a playlist on is the one about idioms, proverbs, maxims, expressions, sayings, etc. I like exploring how we have all these sayings in every language around the world. Each language has all these sayings that do not translate literally, and and they often come from ancient origins, very old origins, and sometimes unknown. And when you can dig up the origins of them, usually it's pretty interesting. So I hope people are enjoying those ones. I think a lot of my videos that have gotten the best traction have been about sayings with either scary origins or weird and disturbing origins or just interesting origins. So people seem to be liking getting a little history behind the different phrases there. So I do and plan to continue doing some more videos like that. Now, the fourth playlist you can see down here is French language and Francophone culture slash cultures. That one, simply put, all the videos in that one, the main topic is the French language and possibly cultures who speak the French language. And so that one's very language specific. I do have more videos about French and English than any other languages there, but I do try to keep it well-rounded as far as what languages I discuss, especially in the idioms, proverbs, maxims playlists. And the one below that, I'm going to scroll down a little so we can see it a little better. The one below that, misinterpreted, misunderstood, misleading, and misquoted, has just 10 videos in it. These are some of my favorite videos where I actually seek to debunk misconceptions that people have of certain sayings and especially ones where they get misquoted over and over and over again to the point where everybody thinks that's the real quote. And so I do have fun with those ones. And the one below that is the miscellaneous playlist. And that's just a playlist where any video I know that doesn't fit into any particular playlist yet, it goes there until I see a new theme develop between many of the videos I'm making. And then I might, you know, make a separate playlist for that. And the playlist all the way on the bottom, politics, political buzzwords, and jargon. That's the only one of the playlists that you will not find on my home tab on YouTube on the homepage to this channel. You'll actually have to click on the link that says playlists to bring that up. Whereas all the other ones, all you got to do is scroll down the page on the home tab. You'll find them. And so the reason I didn't include that on the front page is that politics really not my thing here. I love discussing language and culture, but um, politics can be a little too divisive, and plus, everybody has their opinions on politics. I do, like anyone else, but there's nothing about my background that makes me an expert on politics, or especially in the know. Excuse me. And on this channel, I like to stick to things based in language and culture, which are areas that I know very well. And that being said, it's kind of surprising to me that I picked the 1 year anniversary celebration. So to do a book review of a book written by the minority leader in the House. He leads the Democrats right now, so it's very much politically themed, but I will try not to get too political with it. Anyway, so yeah, do please take advantage of the playlist if you're ever on my channel again. If you ever come to the homepage, all you got to do is scroll down. And once you do see them, see a playlist that looks maybe it's interesting, you can open up the list of videos on it and see if any of those look interesting to you too. So I would appreciate that if you, yeah, if you make your experience a little easier by streamlining your viewing experience just by using the playlist so you can have a little more control over what the topics of the videos are that you're watching. And so, thank you for sticking around with me for that little analysis of, the first year of the smallest YouTube channel ever. Well, it's not the smallest one ever. Believe me or not, believe me, yeah, there are channels with even less than 98 subscribers on them. Trust me, my channel was one of those just day before yesterday. Anyway, um, and so, like I said, I will keep this channel going, keep trying to improve the video content more and more as we go along. And I always appreciate it when people subscribe. And you know who else I appreciate? All the people who watch my videos, even though they're not subscribed yet, because turns out like this channel, like most YouTube channels, about 2/3 of the view time of the time people spent watching my videos is spent by people who are not subscribed to the channel. So I appreciate all those viewers too, because with no views, there would be no point in me putting out these videos, right? So thank you for validating me in that sense. And yeah, so now I want to get to that little book that I was talking to you about, Hakeem Jeffries, The ABCs of Democracy. And yeah, and so since you can't see the cover very well because the light's all shining on it, making it weird, I have a digital image I will bring up of the cover and a couple of the pages. But so long story short, this book, and please do stick with me. It will only take me 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes at most to do the entire reading that I wanted to do from here. And it's written by Hakeem Jeffries. And this is pretty much a speech he made in January of 2023, right after the Democrats had lost the majority in the House of Representatives. And then the new guard is taking over. He became the leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives because Nancy Pelosi kind of stepped down from any leadership role at that point after a couple decades, but she stepped down, and so he took over the mantle. Well, unfortunately, the Democrats lost the majority at the time, so he didn't get to be the Speaker of the House. He just got to be the leader of the party that's not in the majority anyway. And so, and it's called the ABCs of Democracy. And so I love this because he laid it out like an alphabet book, like a book for people just learning the alphabet. And and here is the front cover, Hakeem Jeffries, the ABCs of Democracy. And so it's the one difference between this and an alphabet book and a typical alphabet book anyway, is that alphabet books usually call out what, say, this letter is for that. Like A is for apple, B is for banana, C is for cantaloupe. I'm just giving you an example as if there were an alphabet book about fruit, maybe. Um, and this one doesn't do that. It doesn't have the letter is for part of it. It just pretty much goes right into letters. But it is like your typical alphabet book because it's very illustrated, much more image than text on every page. Like for as in A, like I said, he's not going for A is for American values. He's just saying American values over autocracy. So every single page of this, every single letter you get to is presented kind of like a fraction. The numerator, the top thing, is something positive and good that he is yeah, it's maybe even inspirational for people. Whereas the one over the in the bottom, the denominator, that's one of the uglier parts of things going around in politics. And and so this one, A, brings you right to American values over autocracy. So that's how I'm going to be reading this out. It's just reading exactly the words on the page. So please do follow along. And so in this one, the A, American values over autocracy, this is actually a two-page spread in the book. Um, the 2 pages where so I want to show you other examples of one where it's just one page per letter of the alphabet. And if you get to K and then L, knowledge over kangaroo courts. I do really like the illustrations in this book, who, by the way, Hakeem Jeffries is from Brooklyn, New York. And I do believe the 8th congressional district that he represents does cover Brooklyn. And by the way, the illustrator of this book is also from Brooklyn, New York. And I just love a lot of the illustrations, like how knowledge over kangaroo courts has people reading a lot and learning. I like all the books as a symbol for knowledge, and also with liberty over limitation. I like how we have the Statue of Liberty all just chained back and held back by chains. A lot of good metaphor in the images that she's using. And this one is pretty funny. We get maturity over Mar-a-Lago. And of course, Hakeem Jeffries is the one politician. Well, he's the one standing up in a very modern suit. He's the only African American among the four guys you see there. He's illustrated in there with a couple of the founding fathers and super important presidents from the past. And this one I think is funny because it's definitely a total dig at Donald Trump. Because Mar-a-Lago, right? We got to think about, yeah, that. And I do wonder whether the classified documents case about Mar-a-Lago was already going on when he wrote this book. Not sure. Actually, I shouldn't say wrote this book. This book started as a speech he gave in January of 2023, and then they illustrated it and turned it into this book with a bunch of just little quick turns of phrase. And so the very last image I will show you before we start the reading is another two-page spread, opportunity over obstruction and people over politics. I love how in some the pages he's being pretty inspirational, putting people over politics. I think that's very important. I think sometimes politicians get too caught up with maintaining their power that they forget they're supposed to be representing the people the best they can. Anyway, so here we go back to the front cover. So Hakeem Jeffries, the ABCs of democracy. So I will do a quick reading, and the only part I'm going to skip is the two-page introduction. There's a little two-page introduction, which is the only pages on the book with all text and no images, right? And it's just sort of setting the stage, bringing you to November 2022 when the Democrats lost the House, and then January 2023 when he gave this address. And thinking of that time, um, It's not surprising at all that this book ends up being sometimes seeming very inspiring and sometimes very scary and urgent because after all, politicians they might get yeah, they try to inspire, whereas also try to make you frightened of something else so you will follow their way. Anyway, so and I will start the reading. And it begins. American values over autocracy, benevolence over bigotry, the Constitution over the cult, democracy over demagogues, economic opportunity over extremism, freedom over fascism, governing over gaslighting, hopefulness over hatred, inclusion over isolation, justice over judicial outreach. Sorry, justice over judicial overreach, knowledge over kangaroo courts, liberty over limitation, maturity over Mar-a-Lago, normalcy over negativity, opportunity over obstruction, people over politics, quality of life issues over QAnon, reason over racism, substance over slander, triumph over tyranny, understanding over ugliness, voting rights over voter suppression, working families over the well connected, xenio over xenophobia. Yes, we can over you can't do it, and zealous representation over zero sum confrontation. And that's it. No more text in the book, just images. That was it. Like I said, it was really, really quickly. And so I would like to point out about that. It's a pretty quick read. And why I wanted to do a review of it was to see would this be good for somebody learning the ABCs? And I say no. Often when people are first learning the alphabet, they're little kids like kindergarten age and whatnot. And a lot of these concepts will just fly right over their heads. And plus, some of the words are not, well, widely known enough. For example, for X, xenio over xenophobia. What does xenio mean? It means welcoming and hospitable. So that would be the opposite of being xenophobic, which is, son all the foreigners, make them stay away. And so, yeah, for that reason, yeah, for those two reasons, because these concepts might fly over the heads of little ABC Darians. That's the name, that's what we call someone learning the alphabet. And then also, yeah, just the words are not typical. Usually alphabet books have words that people recognize as soon as we hear them, even if we don't know them written down yet. Well, what I do like about this, what I think it would be good for, is let's say you want to expose a teenager. In the US, it's 18 years old. That's when we get the right to vote. And if you had an adolescent who are used to kind of heady concepts at the times and all that, that you just wanted to introduce to a lot of terms for politics and concepts for politics, it could be that way. But I would say you would have to balance it out with another book so as not to accidentally fully indoctrinate them with liberal politics as opposed to any other politics, which that might be your goal. Hey, if that's a goal, go for it. But yeah, if you wanted to teach, let's say your high school teacher's teaching a civics class or something like that, uh, yeah, you might want to keep it balanced out a little better. And so my overall review of this book is it's certainly worth the price. I got it for only like $13, $14, right? But I wouldn't recommend it if you want to buy an alphabet book for a little kid who's trying to learn the alphabet. I would not recommend it. It seems a little bit more like political merchandising to me than anything else. Um, but again, I would say it's worth the money because it's that cheap and it's cute and inspirational. And like a lot of political speeches, it's inspiring but a little scary at the same time. And so, yeah. And so again, yeah, I would not recommend you buying this book if you want to give somebody an ABC book with the purpose of teaching them the alphabet. But I might recommend it if you know a teenager who's just going to come into voting age and all that, and you want to introduce them to some of the concepts that they'll have to understand. Um, yeah, I would say maybe it's good for that reason. Just be careful not to bias them too much because I my politics are very liberal, so I agree wholeheartedly with most of this. But when you're trying to teach somebody something, you don't want them to automatically adopt your opinion. You want them to develop a full understanding and then develop their own opinion from there. So there's that. So back to my thank you for everybody for subscribing to the channel and for watching my videos. I appreciate that so very much. And even though I didn't quite meet the 100 subscriber threshold I was hoping for, I'm at 98. Still gonna keep the channel going. So do do stay tuned. I always appreciate whenever somebody watches my videos because otherwise there's no point in me making them, right? And so I'm gonna get hard at work again on some more fun words du jour videos. And so please do stay tuned for that. And thanks again for watching, for subscribing, and for sticking around to the end of the video with me again this time. So thanks a bunch for that, and I will catch you around next time. Bye bye.